But we still have a lot of people with Macs who don't seem to have the issue. She just can't figure it. So anyway, Farah, just deal with it tonight. If you can't figure out how to get it off by yourself, and then what I can do sometime next week when things slow down, I can do a Zoom thing and take a look and see what your problem is.
Sure, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But am I in a correct place, or do I have to move from that yellow?
I don't think. Let's see. No, you're fine.
Yeah, I think you're fine. That's
I don't
right.
want to block. I don't want to block anyone from with the camel.
No, you won't bother anybody, and you
so
won't.
sorry.
Don't worry about blocking people. You can't do that. We know how to cam around, so our view is always what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's always challenges to this, and Al, it's your show, so I'll let you, control the mic. What I will tell you, last night I had 34 students, a slideshow with over 120 slides, and I thought I had set up that barrier, and it turned out people could still click on the slides. So I'm going to try bringing that barrier down here, and making it transparent so that maybe people won't click on your slides, Al. But what I did get everyone to do, and these were all, kind of newbies, they pretty much focused in early and then didn't try to not click on the screen so that they weren't turning the slides too. But I'm going to try. Could you guys see if you can advance the slides now, because I'm trying to make this so that you can. And I don't know why in some parts they can advance the slides and some they can't, but could you see if you could click on and advance the slides?
Eileen, can I try to advance the slides?
What I did was put that shield in front of it. What you would have to do is just move in front of that shield. Behind it. You have to probably stand a little closer.
You can't click on it from here because that panel is. If you want to see the panel, enter Control Alt T, and you'll see the panel show up in red a little bit.
Yeah. Now I can see it, and for some reason it works here in this space. Nobody seems to be able to advance the slides unless they're on the other side of that panel.
That's right.
For some reason, in the other space, I was worried about true disaster last night, but it worked out fine. Everybody was quite disciplined and didn't focus in, but it's when they do the focusing, which they need to do to see the slides. So anyway, but I'll turn my mic off. Al, it's your show, and you might want to get people to introduce themselves. We've got a nice mix of people here. And tell me if you want me to do something, Al, but I will. I'm hoping that you can just get back on the other side of that and advance the slides yourself when you're ready. And just another warning, students are required in the intro class. And any of you who got to the residency, that's the same class. They're coming in to meet with other students who are doing their final projects. So I'm hoping that you guys, if you can stay on between 7:30 and 8:30, and I'll push out in the chat the link that shows you what it is they're actually presenting on. So if you can visit them, that would be great. Also, I've got a form that the students are going to be required to fill in to just kind of get some feedback to people. If you want to fill that in too, that would be nice, but you're not students, so you don't have to. But it would be helpful to those who are presenting if you could give them some feedback, just generally any comments. So what I'll do, so if people do stop by, they may be coming in a little early for the other session, but I did invite them to this too, but it wasn't required. It was not a required assignment. So anyway, enough from me. I'll turn off my mic, and Al, tell me if you need me to do anything, but I'll let you run the meeting and figure on, by about 8:30, I'm going to have to be going over to the other areas.
Eileen, I've been trying to advance the slides, and I'm having trouble I've been hitting Alt-T and nothing comes up. I don't.
All you have to do is stand closer to the slides and then hit the arrow. No, Alt-T is just so you can see where the barrier is. Just see if you can move closer to the slides. Yeah, you
That's
should
what
be
you
able to
have
go.
to do. You have to just walk close to the slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that close, maybe.
Okay.
Now
Well-
click on them.
Yeah, no, it just goes through a routine of me running through the slide, back out from the slide, back into the slide, back out of the slide. It's just crazy.
I mean, Shelby, are you able to turn the slides? When you're on that side, anybody on that side should be able to turn the slides. What I can do is remove the barrier completely.
Eileen,
But then
can you advance the slides?
Okie dokie.
All
Then
right.
I have to get in front of the, well, let me see, then I have to get in front of this, the slides myself. Let me see if I can do that.
Well, I'm recording too, so.
Oh, good.
Eileen, could I just suggest you slide the barrier forward close to Renee Taylor's feet, and then Al won't have to try to squeeze in there. It'll still block everybody else. Just move the barrier.
Move the slides back a little further. Let me just see.
I can get
Either way,
a little closer.
just he needs more room.
It's essentially the location. Actually, Al is in the correct location right now. Or sitting in this chair. Let's see. This chair. Well, let's see. I'll sit in it. It doesn't let me sit. Okay.
Well, I'll just stand right here. How's that?
Yeah, you're all right. I can. See, I'm looking at the barrier, and you're on the inside of the barrier.
Let me see if I could.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, you can do it now? Was that
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And now, how do I go back?
You've got the forward and back arrows. The
Oh,
one
back-
at a time.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Good, and hopefully no one else can turn them, but
got it.
people are on that side of the barrier. Okay, so you're set.
If you'd like, you want to go around the room. I'm sorry we've wasted people's time here with the.
It's,
Behind
did you
the-
just call on people, or can you see them? You want me to, see, I don't know how much time you have here. Well, we'll do a quick run through. I'm going to look at the names as I see them. If you could, folks, take the mic for a moment. If you're having mic issues, type in the chat and just say quick hello, where you're coming in from, and then Al will give us a wonderful presentation. And Al is a professional videographer as well as a Mallet alum. He's a member of the steering committee, and he has a lot to show and tell us, so look forward to it, and I hope you can all stay later to visit some other locations with students doing presentations. So let's see, John, can you take the mic for a minute? John Silhavy, and just say hello. And I don't want to take too much time if people have trouble with their mics. Michelle P., can you take the mic and just say hello?
Hi, Eileen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just in your class right now, your innovations class. So I'm attending this to learn a little bit more. Very excited. Have big things going on. So excited to be here. Thank you.
And Michelle is doing incredible things at her school that's going hybrid, and she's been looking into, setting up testing scenarios and everything. So she's got a lot of control over a lot of people, and she's learning also innovations can be hard to bring in. So Jana, another Mallet alum, you wanted to say hello and give a quick update of who you are? And if you can't get your mic, just type in the chat. I'm going to go to Lucia. Next, Lucia's coming in from Italy, and sometimes she's not really
Italy,
mic
yeah.
enabled. Yeah. Can you say hello for a moment, Lucia? She's generally our silent partner, So, but she comes in, and it's in the middle of the night there. So thank you, Sia, for coming in. And she does a lot with technology. She teaches technology in Italy. I've been to some wonderful 360 tours she had of some of the beautiful sites that you can see in Italy. So now you're going to have to go there someday and tape more over there in Italy. Now, Sergi, can you take the mic? I'm just kind of looking at how the names show up on my screen. We've got a lot of Michael's people tonight. What you might want to do during the go-round, test your mic, just quickly turn it on and off, say a quick hello, so that later on when you're doing the one-on-one, you can hear, you can talk to people too. Sergi is now a student. He's over in the Western New York, working with Cornell and other places. I think he's also at a community college too, instructional designer who's helping a lot of people go online quickly. Yeah, and if you have a mic problem, just type in the chat to say something about who you are, so people know who's here. Ellen, can you take the mic for a minute?
Yeah, sure. So I was really interested in coming in tonight because next year my high school wanted me to teach animation, and I'm going from studio art and media art, so this is going to be a new subject for me, but I'm in one of Eileen's basic classes here, the 6005 class.
Great, and we have some people who are going to need to know a lot about all of these different things. So let's see, Jeff?
Eileen, what's the 6005 class?
That's the LETTP class. That's the intro class.
Ah.
That's the one that was at the residency.
Okay.
It just became easier to call it by numbers. So, that's the first class. People are just beginning to really look at all the technologies, and it's a very exciting class. And so, let's see, Jeff's in that class. Jeff, can you take the mic?
Yes, I can. I work at a community college up in upstate New York. I am support staff for the New Media and Communications Department, and we do a lot with video, mostly in broadcasting and short films and things like that, but we, last couple of years, have been doing a lot with 360, so I'm curious to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people that are very interested. Let's see, I'm seeing Florence. Florence, can you take the mic?
Sure. Hi, my name is Florence, and I work at the United Nations as a multimedia producer. And for me, to learn about 360 and VR and everything else is really something that I want to explore and use it in my job. So I'm happy for this class and also this course.
I'm Florence, I'm interested to know if I know someone who works there in video, Tom Giovanelli. Have you heard the name?
No.
At the
Do you
UN?
know- At the UN?
At the UN, Tom Giovanelli.
No, I
He's-
don't know. I
he's-
don't know that person.
Okay, he's part of the video crew there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I look into
No.
him when we all go back.
Interesting. It's a big organization. A
I
lot
know,
a
yeah.
lot of people don't know each other there.
No,
Is
we
what
are
I realize.
6,000.
Yeah, sure.
We are 6,000 people, so
Sure.
it's a lot.
Wow.
I hope you guys will all continue to communicate. This is hopefully just the beginning of conversations. We have wonderful alum. We have an awful lot of great people. And now we've got Saidar Madonna, who can tell us something about who he is. And we bring in Saidar, I think, is still coming in from Texas, and so is Selby coming in from Texas. So we'll get over to you, Saidar. You want to say hello?
I just pasted hello in chat. I'm good. Good to see you all.
Okay, and for any of you that got to the residency, Saidar was the guy who put together the QR codes, and he's promised to come later and do some more presenting. I think his time frame is going to be March, so we're going to hear a lot more from him. And so he's got a background in a lot of the sciences too. So let's see. Hi, Taylor. Sometimes Taylor, you want to take the mic and say hello?
Yeah, sure. My name is Taylor. I'm a long-term sub at Felix Festa Middle School. I've been in the program for, I would say 2 years. Next semester is hopefully my last, and I love learning more about emerging technologies for today.
Because she is an artist and a designer and is intrepid. She's made her own virtual reality island, and I think we have a lot to learn from her as well. She's got great skills and talents. Selby, if you don't know Selby, Selby also puts a lot of good information in the chat. If he doesn't say it, he's got a blog with over 2 million hits, and he's kind enough to grace us with his presence. So Selby, the mic's yours.
Yeah, I just posted a few links that are links to my blog. There are things that I've been calling attention to, and I would like to call specific attention to the concept of the flipped webinar, because that's something. Basically, I'm pushing the idea of a coalition of meetings like this one in virtual worlds. There's a whole bunch of them that I know about, and I'm sure there are a lot more that I don't know about. I'm pushing the idea of having a coalition of such meetings where those meetings collect questions and then make the question publicly available to all of the meetings, and those who are knowledgeable about answering those questions will answer them. So instead of having a single meeting, going to a single meeting and getting the answers only available in that meeting, you can get answers available to all the meetings in the coalition. That winds up what I have to say.
That's an excellent idea, Selby. Oh, excellent.
Well, Selby is our one-man think tank on himself. Plus, Selby never says this, but he's a retired professor emeritus with a PhD in teaching psychology. So be careful, he understands our inner thinking. And Spiff, good to see you here. How about saying hello?
Hi, Spiff. Spiff? No.
I hope he's not speechless. Spiff works for, well, unless he's changed, he worked for the Boseys out of Western New York, and somebody was telling me about your Holocaust Museum, and I said, I think it's the same guy I know. He's got many lives, and for many of these folks, they are also in Second Life, the other virtual reality group, so you'll see that, you'll have sometimes different names that show up. And in Second Life, originally, I don't know if it still is the case, you always had to come up with an exotic name. It wasn't your own name. So anyway, I will turn my mic off, and Al, I think the show is yours. Everybody said hello. If more people come, then we'll encourage them to maybe put their quick intro in the chat, and I'll turn my mic off. And I may push out a few things in the chat if you want to stay, just to remind you where the other exhibits are going to be.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad some of you have a real keen interest in all things video on and actually off the screen too. In the computer world, it's given the name Machinima, but outside the real world, it's called video or filmmaking or virtual reality or equirectangular. There's a lot of names for video, and there's even the dreaded vertical video. In the early days of cell phone videography, the phones were naturally making it easier to just shoot something with the camera maintained in the vertical position. So that's how we got vertical video, and there were a lot of funny videos of anti-vertical video. I'll share that with you guys some other time, but let's move on. For this presentation, we want to talk about recording stuff off the screen, as well as recording stuff in the real world. And then different levels of cost, depending, always with the understanding that more than likely more cost means better quality. So the quality range is enormous. We'll first talk about 13 best screen recording softwares. They're both free and paid. There's a lot more. Also, there are a lot more camera manufacturers. I just pluck through and try to find a sort of gamut of different styles and different popularity of cameras and recording devices and techniques. So things to keep in mind, and we just talked about equirectangular, and then we all are familiar with 1920 by 1080, 1280 by 720, and there are other custom formats, and also including vertical formats. And that's all part of the adjustable video frame. So you want to always keep in mind what are you trying to capture, and try to get the software or hardware that helps you achieve what you're trying to get. So understanding the video frame, and how we can adjust it in so many different ways, is something very important to keep in mind as you go through this. Editing, obviously cut and paste options are the simplest things, but do they have these features? Or can you incorporate them easily with what you're already using, perhaps? And a lot of the free software limits the amount of time you can record. Generally, sometimes like 15 minutes. But if you have to record something like this, or seminars that go on for hours, you need unlimited recording. So that's another major thing to keep in mind. So there's a free recording software. There are plenty, but you got to be cautious that free is not always free. It seems free in the beginning, but then they give you only a free period. So first one on the list is called FreeCam, and some of the marketing things that they provide for it is that it's simple to use. It's got built-in audio and it's got a built-in audio and video editor. It has no watermarks. That's really important. It's ad-free, and this is also very free. The pros are it records voiceovers and computer sounds, both. Has high quality resolution. You guys can read. Users you can save in WMV format, but that also becomes one of the cons, that it's only limited in the Windows Media format. If you operate in a PC environment, generally it won't be an issue at all. In Mac arenas, WMVs have always been problematic. Maybe they're not anymore. Hopefully not. And these are some of the other. We were on FreeCam. Next one up is DVD VideoSoft's free screen video recorder. Full featured. You can record directly to Skype, or you can record Skype conversations. It has an image editor. Pros. It can do screenshots. A lot of this software can do screenshots. Skype integration. It has step-by-step instructions, a little bit easier to use, and they're available in 10 languages, so that helps in a diverse environment. and a variety of formats that it records in, both video and still image. So there's some versatility there. You can see some of the cons. Microphone sounds only. Um, excessive ads if you go with this free version. It says it saves in AVI only. So again, the pros might be if you go into a paid version. So that's, you got to be careful. Otherwise, you might be only recording in AVI only. Again, in a PC world, not that crazy important. Next up is Cam Studio. Um, um, records in AVI, and they say it's compact. It has some crazy cons. Like it reported that it spread harmful viruses and malware, and that's something to really be on the lookout for. Again, only AVI as a con. A pro, it has allows you to create small size files. That's important for if you want to operate in an email environment, etc. Next up is number 4, EasyVid. Again, a free one. Easy to use, as they say. YouTube uploads and integration. They say good for gamers. It works in an HD resolution. Most of them do, but this one calls it out as a pro. It has speed control. That's pretty, allows you to do some trick stuff. Upload to YouTube. It has some music it provides, so that's pretty cool. Now, I don't know what this means by reviewers report extraneous noise, but I'll take it. And then minor bugs. This one doesn't yell out to me that it's like worth considering on a first go round for sure. Next one is Tiny Take. They say sophisticated recorder. You can add comments. It's cloud-based. They have a cloud-based gallery of stuff you could use to incorporate. Built-in online file viewer for images, videos, and documents. That's part of the cloud-based. Allows to create custom shortcuts. And it's mobile device friendly. So that is a big plus. Tiny Take. Now here's where we get into limits. The cons with the free version is a 5-minute limit. So I'm not sure what the cost is if you go with the paid version. I'm sure it's not very much with these. Usually only anywhere from $20 to $30 a year. So we'll move into the paid recordings, and they're higher quality. You get tech support. You get to really speak to someone and get some help sometimes. So this one's called iSpring Suite, and it's actually designed for e-learning. It's got many training tools, many editing features. It can record 2 videos at the same time, a screencast and a webcam. Video with narration, authoring, quizzes, conversation simulator, multi-track timeline for video editing, very sophisticated tools for a piece of software. But I you'd expect it because if you look over at the cons, it's $970 a year. So it's a subscription. This is one of the most expensive. It's crazy. I would consider it on the second go round. Camtasia is a popular one. It also does animation. Someone was mentioning animations, effects, overlays. It also has quizzes, incorporates the webcam. Adding captions, callouts. Also has a library, and it's reasonably priced. The fact that it's a one-time payment and not a subscription is what I like about this Camtasia. And when I've worked at different companies, I've actually purchased it through their software purchase capabilities, and it's only $249 for good. So as opposed to with some subscription, you wind up paying you could wind up paying about $249 for the year, but then next year rolls around and you're paying another $249. This is one time. So Filmora Screen for the gamers out there, particularly since it records in 60 frames. Most other video records in 24 to 30 frames, but 60 frames captures sharper motion, so it's better for gaming, and has a picture-in-picture mode. Can actually do variable frames from 15 to 120. So when you're shooting at 120, things are really, really slow. Real slow motion. It's subscription, but it's reasonably priced as far as subscription goes. They say it lacks advanced editing features. I haven't checked it out, so I can't speak for sure what those features that are lacking are, but if one has some other video editing program, it may not be such a big deal. Next one is Movavi Screen Recorder. You can take screenshots. It works comfortably with the Google Drive system. Those that are comfortable with that. Incorporates a webcam, some of the pros, a lot of different formats, which is always good. On the con side, it's, the price, I pulled it separately because it's pretty reasonably priced. I believe this is a one-time charge. There might be a smaller charge for upgrades every so often, but again, if you have video editing capabilities, the fact that it's lacking them may not be such a big deal. We're getting close to the end of all these, and this is just a little sampling of all the software that's out there. My Screen Recorder Pro. It's got a lot of the usual features and a variety of formats, which is good. The price is reasonable, even though they list it as a con. One of the websites I was looking at. It's pretty reasonable, and it's a one-time cost. So it's worth, I think, on a first look-see, a further review, I would go back and try a free version of this myself. Next one is it's called Flashback. Um, it's got editing tools. I work in multiple monitors, 2 monitors usually, and it's one of the pros is that it could record both monitors. Um, and it incorporates a webcam, so it's got some hefty features and a lot of different file formats. Always good, um, and reasonably priced. Um, it might be a little template driven, it seems, but again, perhaps because of a very reasonable price, I think worth a review, initial review. 12 is Screencast-O-Matic. It's what Eileen had suggested we use, and it's what I have stuck with since my time through the Mallet program. And it's what I am using now. We're 36 minutes into this recording. It handles Windows and Mac. It's real easy to use. It has a lot of features I have not even dabbled with. Multiple operating systems, green screen, which a lot of them don't have. It does screenshots. It's about $20 a year, so it's very reasonable. They through the software they want you to use their servers and upload to Screencast-O-Matic, but you also have the option with Screencast-O-Matic of just um, telling it to drop it in some folder on your hard drive somewhere. And so I have folders for Empire State College and Institute for New Paradigms, which is the alumni association I'm part of, and this emerges from, and that's where I put these recordings. So they don't go into the Screencast-O-Matic server environment. I'm a little wary about that, operating too much in the cloud and not having stuff, sort of locally, protected and sourced. And so they list it as a con, but I don't think it's a con at all. And I have dozens and dozens or perhaps hundreds of recordings to show for it. So this is my personal favorite. Next one up and last one is Snagit. And I also have this too. I've been sticking with Snagit since one of the earlier versions of it. And even though it also now records on the screen, and I can't really tell you, I haven't done much capturing with it, but I've done a little bit of it. But you can, with it launched and sitting open, a simple Control, Shift, and the P key brings up a cursor, and you can just choose a region of the screen for it to just capture. So it's been great for stuff I see on the screen and I can't save otherwise, or complicated, sometimes you're, for instance, looking for a mortgage and you go into the calculator and the calculator has a result, but there's sometimes, or a lot of times, not the ability to save that calculation. So it's nice to be able to quickly screen grab it. There are a lot of ways to do it, but this is my favorite, and it's called Snagit. A little sort of, this is the screen of the screen grab. It opens up a lot of tools, and you can go in a lot of different ways, or just hit save That's usually what I do. Back to Screencast-O-Matic, since we're recording in that now, and this is what the launch screen looks like. You've got the ability to change the video aspect, include or not include different types of audio and other types of controls. This one is of particular interest because it usually defaults to the off position. It's the narration, and I don't know if you can see close up, but it's got a red X, so it's not recording, and which reminds me I should go back to the recording I'm doing and make sure I've got narration going. And the other important button to consider is the record button, which is a big red button. When you hit that button, the big screen, that big square disappears, and what you're left with is the frame. In this case, it's a 1280 by 720 frame, so it's not quite the entire screen. It gives me a little capability to be able to pan or look up or somehow just have a little more control over what gets into the screen. If you kindly go to this website, I'm going to put it into the chat if I can. Everybody go to this website and watch this video, and then we'll come back and maybe we can discuss it a little bit, and we'll move on to cameras.
Looking at like a traditional classroom type introduction, I think they can wrap their mind around this, you know.
And this sim, I think, actually is an example. Selby's written about it on his blog. It's called Universal Campus. But so all of these buildings are from that. I think it's just an OAR file.
So this would be a great place for somebody, to see what they get. That if they got a Kitely world of their own, that hey, you could have this kind of starter setup right here.
Well, Eileen, we were thinking we would start the shoot by coming inside this great big conference center here where it says Community Virtual Library, and there's a classroom just to the left, and I put a Google Doc there, and I'll put so you guys could actually type on it to make it a little bit more interactive.
So let's do this. Why don't you guys walk through, but then immediately come back out. I'll go through, and then I'll film you from the other side as you come through. All of you walk through the front door. Just walk in a little bit, and then just turn around and come back out. All right, and let's do it. Action.
This is a beautiful building. I just love it.
I'm not sure. What is it you want us to walk through? I think I was just watching the video.
You can see that our voices, are when we're speaking. You can see the things over our heads.
Well, I don't think they record. All right. I'm gonna turn around. So if you all would just leave, let the doors shut. Just walk out comfortable. I don't know if you guys are still watching the video. And see everybody advancing the slides. I'm going to bring them back. So that video gives an example of, just, it's good old-fashioned directing, um, even though it's virtual. Okay, back to the real virtual world. These are some of the best 360 cameras, or video recorders, if you will. The first one is from GoPro, and it's $500. It's got the built-in viewfinder, which I find very convenient, and I haven't used it personally, but I've used a lot of other GoPro pieces of equipment, and worth a good see if that's around your price range. A little less is the Ryko. Ryko's been making a bunch of different cameras over the last couple of years. A lot of manufacturers have come and gone, but they've been stuck around. So, and for a really pretty low cost camera, and they like to call this their starter camera. I'm going to move a little quicker here. Next up is again in that category, under 500, is something from the Views camera. I think the next one, further along, the first Views camera that came out looked like a alien saucer is what it looked like, and it had 8 cameras on it, and it still exists. It's several $100s more than this version, which has 2 different lenses, and it does 360. Also does 2D. So that stays in the $500 range. The next one up is just breaks the $500 barrier, and again, a small camera. This one is for the Apple environment only, iOS only. So everybody in the PC world, this is not something you can consider. But it seems to be clever. So this is the first design and the standard Views camera. The company name is Views, V-U-Z-E, and it's 4K, and it's got 8 cameras, and that's it does stereoscopic. So we're getting into the area where just like you have 3D glasses and you watch a 3D movie, this is now 3D, but in total 360 immersion. So it's pretty wild. Can get dizzying, but has its uses in concerts more than anything else. I think being there, seeing people and things up close. So it's really good for that. In the $1,000 to $5,000 category. Now you're getting into heavy duty cameras. You have the Can-Do. This is about a $2,000 camera, 8K, and in this arena, you're not going to see less than 6 cameras. So this is you're going to see 8 cameras or more generally, but it boasts 8K. Moving up the scale a little bit is the Insta360 Pro. Again, 8K, 6 cameras, but in a different design. It's touted to be heavier. In this category, most of them are heavier. The components are heftier. I can't explain it any other way. The cameras have got a lot more components in them, so they're more money, but they are higher quality. This is certainly an area where you're looking at definitely commercial application, excuse me, applications of this, or major filmmaking, if you will. Again, in this several $1,000 category, GoPro is a contender, and this unit has 6 individual GoPro cameras that mount inside of it. Altogether, they shoot in 8K. They come with industry standard software, color software with a K, color with a K. Then we jump up to over $5,000, and this is major companies, I believe, would be the only ones that could afford something like this. Again, GoPro is in this category, but this holds 16 cameras, I don't know why surprisingly lightweight becomes a con, but it is pricey, that's for sure. $15,000 is definitely something that's in the corporate arena. And then just for, I like to say, shits and giggles, who's got the money to buy a jaunt? But this boasts 24 cameras and is nearly $100,000, but it has the ability to capture up to 120 frames per second. So it's crazy high quality, high speed camera, and those cameras are usually expensive. Next is another video. If I encourage everybody to take a look at. I'll put the link in the chat. And that was the result of several shoots. Yes.
Al, can
Yeah.
I just interrupt 1 second?
Sure.
There's some of your viewers here. They actually have to get to their stations at 7:30 because they have people coming to hear them. So I just want to remind them to keep an eye on the time.
Okay. Well,
please do stay for Q&A. So I'm just
they can review the video. They can review the video later. It's in the they can copy and paste it. Does anybody have any questions or ideas?
Have you tried Open Broadcast System? I'm just asking because I use that a lot to stream, and I find it quick and easy to just record stuff in OpenSim. Over.
Open? What? No, but I will check it out and give you my thoughts. What's it called again? What's it called again? Sidearm?
OBS. I'm going to paste the link for you.
All right. The videos, particularly the one that was done mostly with screen capture, and visiting another Kitely 3D world and environment, and turning all that into a promotional video for Institute for New Paradigms. I do highly suggest at any other time, do check it out. Any other questions about video or capturing or equipment or software? All right, well, thanks everybody for your time.
Alex, Eileen, I have a question. Now you've given us a wonderful overview of the technologies that are coming out and really help us decide what kind of equipment we should get. But can you give us a perspective on how the world itself now is kind of moving towards video? I see a lot of it myself, but do you have that, high view perspective on where video, just the concept of video for training, teaching, communication is going in the future? Now, in the past, it was really professionals like you who could do things well. Do you see where this fact that now we have a lot of people making videos, where do you see this all going in the future?
It's going to be more ingrained in society. I have noticed, in certainly my career, the idea of videographer has gone through a transformation through the years, and where it took the industry was new, and it took a lot of trial and error to achieve, excellence in videography in so many ways, with the chips of the cameras, with the lines of resolution on videotape, with it required, and I must say, in the early days, someone with the specialty of video, and then sometimes a subspecialty within video. As time has gone on, video has become more and more ubiquitous. When my first computer editing system, in those days it was called a NLE, nonlinear editing system. My very first one was an Avid, a PC Avid, that had just come down in price. They were hovering around $90,000 for a workstation, but by porting into the PC and using lower cost boards and etc., long story short, they were able to come out with a computer for about $30,000 that could do video editing and have some real-time capabilities. This was a big deal, and that was a big jump, and that was, 2/3 of the cost, and that was a leasable, item in those days for a videographer. $30,000, you could lease it, and that's what I did. I leased, at least to purchase to own, which I did, and now it's a big paperweight. But it got me through a lot of edits, and it was the first editing system, and it was. I lived in Brooklyn, and I had to go to Piscataway, New Jersey, to the sort of IT PC factory that was making the computer and setting it up for me. And so it was a 20, 30 mile trip. And 2 weeks later, I had issues, so I had to bring it back. So that was the first, my introduction, the early days of NLE. But as time went on, it got to the point where your local mall uh, would have an Apple store, and you could go in there and get an Apple computer that does very very good editing. Some would argue the best editing, but you've got that PC Apple uh, argument going still. Um, um, and you could go to your local mall and just get an editing computer. So that's how things had changed in about 5 years. So at this point, a professional videographer is becoming a dwindling profession, because video is in so much of the equipment we use, and video editing has become nearly automatic, and it is an integral part of our lives. And every single person shoots photos and videos almost daily. Um, so we are at a point where we are saturated with the tools, and if that doesn't help it become part of our digital literacy, that each and every one of us knows how to use a video camera and edit a video, and it because we need to use these tools and these communication devices, and it's pretty limited. We have still imagery, we have moving imagery, and we have audio, and those are the three major ways we can communicate with people. And every single company, and there's a commercial on TV that talks about just that every company is digital nowadays. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the product was for, but but it's absolutely true. Every company is digital. Every company needs a website. Obviously, it's your front door, and you need to attract people with video and audio and imagery, and it's important to become proficient at it, or have as part of your company a part of it that is proficient at it. It's important. It's very important. So anything else? I want to thank you for your time and the opportunity to share some of these insights. I wish you all well in your studies and your travels through this life using these tools. And I'm always available. I'm going to add my email to the chat, and feel free to email me anytime. Thank you. How are we doing, Eileen?
She's probably TP'd over. I, for one, appreciated your talk a lot, Al. Thank you so much for the presentation and the perspective. I'm taking notes furiously.
Saidam, you are Saidam, you're so gracious. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it for me. I'll see you guys on the next go round. Good luck to everyone. I hope the camel gets resolved.
I sent her a screenshot. She's probably not going to be happy with what it looks like. I'm going to go check out some of those student presentations. I'm looking at the Control M and seeing where the green dots
All right.
are. I'll see you all later. See you soon.
Thank you. Be well now. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Al.
You're very welcome. Thank you.